Well, dear fans, friends, and subscribers, welcome to the Friday edition of the Cricket Happening Show with your host Ram. And as far as today's cricket show goes, there are three matches. So, the first match, as I normally do a summary, it was the second day's play in the first test match between Pakistan and Sri Lanka, where the Sri Lankan captain Dinesh Chandimal scored a laborious 155, which was his ninth test century, and also all the other batsmen rallied around him as Sri Lanka went on to amass they were all out for 419, and then the Pakistani openers really did very well to score 64 for no loss at close of play on the second day. As far as Bangladesh versus South Africa was concerned, South Africa piled on the agony for Bangladesh today, with Elgar unfortunately being dismissed for 199, and Amla went on to make his century, which was the 27th century, and this 27th century equaled the record of the very, very successful captain of South Africa, Graeme Smith, who already had 27. So Amla is already on level with Graeme Smith's 27 centuries, and one really knows that Amla, what a great player he is. And Bangladesh, in fact, du Plessis declared the innings closed at tea time, and Bangladesh towards the close closed at 126 for 3 on the second day. No, that was day 2. And as far as the ODI series was concerned, it was a clean sweep done by the Englishmen today. England, despite the absence of Alex Hales and Ben Stokes, crushed the West Indians today in the 5th one-day international, where Jonathan Bairstow scored his second ODI century in the same series, and that was something which has not been done by any English batsman against the West Indies. And also Jason Roy got into some good form as well. He has already shown that after getting those two opportunities, grabbed them, as today he made 96 runs. And as I said, it was a 9-wicket victory for England. It was a really, really crushing victory, and they won the ODI series with one being a no result, 4-0. So, but I'm going to start off with the Pakistan versus Sri Lanka game. The Sri Lanka game, it was day 2, where Chandimal resumed the innings along with Dikwala. Chandimal continued in the same way that he was playing yesterday, and that was to really work for his runs, and really did a laborious job. I mean, it was a very, very laborious work by Dinesh Chandimal. Dikwala, well, he continued on, and he got his highest score in Test cricket, as he collected 83 runs with 9 fours and 1 6. Dilruwan Pereira was along with Chandimal, and it was a phase where Dilruwan Pereira was really kept on a tight leash by the Pakistani bowlers, as Dilruwan Pereira took a long time to get off the blocks. I mean, the thing is, he was really very slow, and as I said, it was also very important for Dilruwan Pereira to trade the crease and give Chandimal whatever company he could. And that was something which was frustrating for the Pakistanis. But Pereira, after making 33, fell a victim to Haris Sohail, who on his test debut got his maiden wicket in the form of Dilruwan Pereira, contributed 33 with 2 fours and 1 6. But Dinesh Chandimal continued his work that he was doing yesterday, and that was to just stick to the crease like a leech, and that's what he precisely was doing. And he was the one who was the bulwark of the Sri Lankan innings. But after that, Yasir Shah picked up the wicket of Rangana, headed for 4, and then Mohammad Abbas came in and cleaned up the tail in a wonderful manner, in a trice, I would say, as he picked up the wickets of Siranga Lakmal, getting him LBW for 7, Sandakan was LBW ball, Mohammad Abbas for 8, and Fernando was sent back to the pavilion, clean bowled for naught of the very first ball he faced, leaving the Sri Lankan captain Dinesh Chandimal not out on 155 with facing 372 balls, 14 fours, and also Dinesh Chandimal, it was his 9th Test century, and it was his first century against Pakistan in his career. And one knows that what a feeling that would be. Mohammad Amir remained wicketless, 27 overs, 5 minutes, none for 63. Mohammad Abbas came up and cleared up the tail, 26.5 overs, no maiden, 75 runs on 3 wickets. Yasir Shah had 3 for 120. Hassan Ali, 27 overs, 2 for 88. Shan Masood have already none for none. After bowling 1 over, it was a maiden. Haris Sohail at 13 overs, 51 runs, picked up his maiden test wicket. Asad Shafiq, 3 overs, none for 11. And Pakistan openers they got some overs. They got 23 overs to face. They were not in any hurry, and they did a very fine job, I thought, with Shan Masood and Sami Aslam opening the innings. Shan Masood was not out on 30 with 2 boundaries. Sami Aslam not out on 31 with 4 boundaries, as Pakistan closed the day at 64 for no loss. And one can say that there is some turn available on this pitch, and it will be interesting to see with the Sri Lankans going with 3 spinners whether they are going to get some purchase out of this. Lucknow 4 overs, none for 12. Fernando 5 overs, none for 13. Vishwa Fernando. Pereira 6 overs, none for 24. Sandakan bowled 5 overs, 1 minute, none for 5. And 3 overs for 8 runs for Rangana. So Shan Masood and Sami Aslam doing a fine job as openers to see off the Sri Lankan bowling and close at 64 for no loss. But there is still a big job to be done for the Pakistanis, no doubt about it. But one thing that I would like to add is that on this particular in this particular day, I was a bit surprised that Shan Masood came up to open along with Sami Aslam. I would have because Azhar Ali is typically, as you know, is an experienced opener, and I would have loved to see Azhar Ali and Sami Aslam open the innings. The only for the fact that, according to me, as far as I know, I think Azhar Ali and Sami Aslam are technically very, very equipped as far as test matches are concerned. And I was a bit surprised seeing Shan Masood come and open the innings. But nevertheless, Shan Masood still did a good job. But so Azhar Ali is still there in the hut. He will be coming in at 1 drop. But this is my take on the whole issue. I felt that Azhar Ali should have opened with Sami Aslam, because I feel that these are the 2 players in the Pakistani lineup who are absolutely technically equipped as far as test matches are concerned. They have a good technique, and that is what is very important in test matches. And I would have probably liked to see Shan Masood come in at 1 drop. But nevertheless, they still did a good job at 64 for no loss. This, as I said, this is just purely my opinion on this cricket show, as what I feel about it. But probably others feel a bit different about it. But nevertheless, as I said, things settled down for Pakistan. They were 64 for no loss. They didn't have any mishap, which was good to see. And they will renew the battle tomorrow. That's on the 3rd day at Abu Dhabi. Now, the next match we are looking at is Bangladesh versus South Africa. Again, day 2 there in the first test match between South Africa and Bangladesh. And South Africa once again piled on the agony. They resumed from where they left off yesterday on a commanding situation. Dean Elgar and Hashim Amla joined hands, and the partnership kept on blossoming, and there was absolutely no respite for the Bangladeshi bowlers. Things kept moving, with Elgar really doing that. As you know, Elgar is a very sort of a stubborn player who likes to occupy the crease. Hashim Amla, well, he did his job well. He played some fine strokes as this partnership went on to put some very good runs. As you know, yesterday we had the openers Aidan Markram on debut, and Elgar putting on 196 for the first wicket. And then we had another big partnership here. It went much bigger than the previous one. The first one was 196. The second wicket added almost like, I would say, it was 100 and 215 runs for the second wicket. It was very well done. Hashim Amla was looking terrific, I thought. And he, as I said, Hashim Amla equaled the record of the most successful captain of the South Africa, and that was Graham Smith, as Hashim Amla got his 27th test century, equaling Graham Smith's record, and Hashim Amla's contribution was 137 with 17 fours and 1 6. So he departed with the score on 411, and then with 35 runs added, when everyone was eagerly looking out for Dean Elgar getting to his maiden double century in Test cricket, I would say fate befell him as Dean Elgar got a short delivery from Mustafizur Rahman. He tried to pull that delivery. The ball was top-edged and Mominul Haq held the catch, with Dean Elgar trudging off trudging off to the pavilion in a very, very dejected manner, and one could really understand that. And also Dean Elgar, for him this was the first 150 score that he got in Test cricket, and Dean Elgar, this was his 9th Test century, 199 with 15 boundaries and 3 sixes. And what a knock from Dean Elgar, but one felt very sorry that Dean Elgar could not go on to his maiden double century in Test cricket. And after that, Temba Bavuma and du Plessis joined, and they slowly started collecting the runs. And when as tea approached, at tea time, the South African captain du Plessis applying the declaration at 496 for 3, with Temba Bavuma not out on 31 with 2 fours and 1 6, and Faf du Plessis, the captain, was not out on 26 with 4 boundaries, and that was it. So that was 496 for 3. He declared the innings close to give a sort of a real break for the Bangladeshi bowlers, I suppose. And as far as the bowling was concerned, Mustafizur Rahman, 27 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 98. He finally got his first wicket. Shafiul Islam was the one who picked up the wicket of Hashim Amla when Hashim Amla actually holed out to the backward point region. 24 overs, 5 minutes, 1 for 74 for Shafiul Islam. Marius and Miraz had the costliest figures. He bowled 56 overs, 4 minutes, 178 runs and no wicket. Naskin at 26 overs, 5 minutes, none for 88. I thought was the one who looked a bit sharp, I would say. Mahmudullah 5 was none for 24. Maminul looked 2 was none for 15. Sabir Rahman 5 was 1 maiden, none for 15. Now this was the chase. So not the chase. So Bangladesh were given a chance to go and play the final session. They opened up. Today for some reason they decided to open up with Liton Das and the inexperience of Liton Das and Imrul Case. But Kagiso Rabada was the one who drew first blood for South Africa when he forced Imrul Case to play an aggressive shot, and that was a hook shot that he tried to play at the bowling of Rabada. And Aidan Markram, the debutant, getting his maiden catch, he was gone for 7. So that was wicket number 1 at 16 for 1, Bangladesh. And then with 20 runs added when the score is 36. But before that, Liton Das definitely played some very confident strokes to the bowling of Rabada. It's some 2 rasping shots for boundaries. But then Mone Morkel picked up his man. He got some extra bounce onto Liton Das, and Liton Das was a goner. In fact, Imrul Case was actually got a ball which he tried to actually pull away from that, and it ended up in the hands of Markram. Liton Das made 25. He fell to the extra pace and bounce from Mone Morkel. Caught Amla Morkel for 25 with 4 boundaries, and then the score read 36 for 2. But after that, there was no signs of Tamim Iqbal coming out. It was Mushfiqur Rahim, the Bangladesh captain, coming out to join Mominul Haq, and suddenly we saw a sort of a counter-attack was launched by first by Mushfiqur Rahim, who started hitting some very nice boundaries as he normally does. He started off in aggressive vein. Mominul Haq also joined him in creaming a few boundaries, and Mominul Haq is also drives well, and that was going on. And suddenly they started exerting some pressure on the South African bowlers with a 67 runs partnership that happened between them. But then Keshav Maharaj, the spinner, was the one who was really posing a lot of problems for Mushfiqur Rahim. He was basically spinning the ball away from Mushfiqur Rahim, and then suddenly in one particular over he got a ball to spin into Mushfiqur Rahim, and Mushfiqur Rahim was a goner as he prodded at that, and Markram at the closing cordon, getting the catch. It was gone bad and pad catch to Markram, and Mushfiqur Rahim was gone for 44, and Maharaj was absolutely delighted, and why not? Because he had foxed Mushfiqur Rahim. He was really testing him with ball spinning away, and suddenly got a ball to spin in, and that was it for Mushfiqur Rahim, out for 44 with 7 fours and 1 6. And then Tamim Iqbal walked in to join the Mominul Haq, and definitely, in fact, Tamim Iqbal also showed signs of some aggression by cracking 22. But Tamim Iqbal, of the last ball, one probably thought whether that was the right shot to play, but because it came off, one would say yes, it was the right shot, because Tamim Iqbal deposited Keshav Maharaj. He planted Keshav Maharaj into the spectators for a wonderful 6, as Tamim Iqbal at close of play was not out on 22 with 3 fours 1 6, and Mominul Haq was not out on 28 4 fours, as Bangladesh closed the day at 127 for 3. Morkel, 7 overs 1 minute 1 for 34. Abara, 9 overs 1 for 23, bowled superbly. Maharaj also did a fine job, 1 for 38, picking up the prize wicket of Mushfiqur Rahim. Don Oliver, 5 overs none for 27. Felikavayo, 2 overs 1 minute none for 4. That was the day 2 at Senvers Park, Potchefstroom, in the second test between South Africa and Bangladesh. Now the last thing that we are going to look at is the 5th ODI between West Indies and England, which was played today. And this was a match. This was played at Southampton in Hampshire, and I have to say that West Indies today did not have the services of their captain Jason Holder, who had to probably go back, but Jason Mohammed was the acting captain for the West Indies. And as I'm short of time here, I'll just go through. But one thing that I would like to say, that West Indies started off with Chris Gayle. I would like to talk about Chris Gayle. West Indies made 288 for 6 batting first, but let me talk about Chris Gayle. Now Chris Gayle started off the blocks. He was very slow off the blocks. He took probably 15 balls to get off the mark, but the way he unwinded was something. It was a real sight to see, as suddenly he got into the 5th gear as he started plundering 6s of the bowling of Jay Iqbal. He hit Jay Iqbal for 3 powerful 6s, then followed it up with another 2 6s in the next over. In fact, all the 5 6s that Chris Gayle hit was the bowling of Jay Iqbal, as Gayle made 40 of 29 deliveries with 1 4 and 5 6s to really really set the pace for the West Indies. And Chris Gayle was a victim of the bowling of Tom Curran, who with the back of length delivery. He actually foxed Gayle into a false stroke, and he fell a victim to him, as was caught by Plunkett, but not before plundering 40 of 29, 1 4 and 5 6s. But after that, it was not the Hope brothers were in the mix there, and the Hope brothers, Kyle Hope contributed 33 of 38, 3 4s. Shai Hope really held the innings together, playing a good knock of 72 of 90 for deliveries, 4 4s, 1 6. Samuels continued his struggle, but nevertheless was not dismissed cheaply today. But nevertheless, he was still, still not able to hit his traps. He was trying to find his bearings. It was a big struggle for him. He ended up with 32, but he had to really struggle for that. 32 of 60 balls with just 1 boundary before becoming a victim of the Moeen Ali spin when he was actually stumped trying to go for an aggressive stroke. Jason Mohammed, the acting captain, contributed 25 of 30 deliveries with 1 4 and 1 6. But Ambrice impressed a lot, I thought. Sunil Ambrice, if I'm not wrong whether he was making his debut, I'm trying to check that. Yes, Ambrice, yes, there was ODI debut for both Tom Curran of England and also Sunil Ambrice of West Indies. And Roman Powell was out for 11. He got a full toss, by which he was clean bowled at the bowling of Plunkett. But Sunil Ambrice was very impressive with his knock. He contributed, it was only thanks to Ambrice and Nurse that they nursed West Indies to a total of 288 for 6 with some big blows. Ambrice was not on 38 of 27 deliveries, 4 4s, but Ashley Nurse played a real cameo, as he was not out on 31 of just 12 deliveries, where he spanked 3 4s and 2 6s. So 288 for 6 was a decent score on this particular ground, one thought. Jake Ball had the costliest figures. 10 overs was carved for 94 with 1 wicket. Tom Curran, 10 overs, 1 made and 1 for 62. Plunkett, 2 for 54. Rashid did 1 for 42. But Moeen Ali did a fine job with the ball. 10 overs, 1 made and none for 36. Now, it was the turn of England to chase it. And I can only say one thing, that the West Indies bowling looked very insipid against the openers Jason Roy and Jonathan Bairstow. Jason Roy went on to make 96 of 70 deliveries, a partnership of 156. Really was a platform towards England's win, but it was a real crushing win by England, with Jason Roy contributing 96 of 70 deliveries, 11 fours and 1 6. But Jonathan Bairstow going on to make his second ODI century of the series. He remained not out on 141 of 114 balls with 17 delectably timed boundaries, and Joe Root was not out on 46 of 44, 2 fours, 1 6. Game over. England having a 4-0 series victory and winning the final one-day international by a crushing 9-wicket win. 294 for 1. I'm not going to go into the bowling figures. Probably a sort of a sneak peek I can give to you as for the bowling figures. 8 overs for 52 for Jerome Taylor. Aljari Joseph disappeared for 54 of his 7. Cummins 8 overs was a really hit for to the tune of 70 runs, 1 wicket. Ashley Nazed was 56. Marlon Samuels 4 overs cost him 41. And Powell went 3 overs, none for 19. The man of the match going to Johnny Bairstow as expected, and player of the series, there was absolutely no doubt about it, it was Moeen Ali. Well, dear fans and subscribers, there's not much time now to talk about anything else. That's it for the Cricket Happening show as far as Friday is concerned. I'll be seeing you all, dear friends subscribers, on Saturday on my next cricket broadcast. Until then, it's good night.